This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. Are you able to see my screens?
Yes, sir.
Right? You're able to see, right? My desktop?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
All
sir.
right. So SAP has to be installed, on your system actually. Yeah, SAP has to be installed. So once you have
Yeah.
SAP installed on your laptop, yeah. So this is the
Okay.
icon that you see. You see this icon, SAP logon? Do you see this?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I get it.
Yeah. So you will be able to see this logon, yeah, logon pad or the GUI. Yeah. Now you have to double click on
Okay.
it.
Okay.
Double click on it and say run.
Run.
Say run, and then you'll be able to see this, logon pad. So you have to once again
Okay.
double click on this SAP HR server.
Okay.
Yeah, SAP HR server. Now you have to give the user ID and the password, and all these will be
Okay.
provided to you. You can contact
Okay.
Vasu. Yeah, he's gonna provide you the server access.
Okay.
Now you have to give the user ID and the password.
Okay.
Right. Now this is
Okay,
the
sir.
initial screen that you see when you log on to SAP. Yeah, this is the initial screen that you see.
Yeah.
Now this is called SAP Easy Access. Yeah, SAP Easy
Easier.
Access. The initial screen which you see when you log on to SAP. Now we need to do different configurations. Yeah, we need to do different configurations as a part of the course, and otherwise also as a part of your job you have to do. Once you get onto your job, you have to do a lot of configurations. So there are different
Okay.
places. First of all the organization management related configurations will be doing in the easy access only. Yeah, all the
Okay.
organization management related configurations. So, so you have human resources, and then you have org management here. Yeah, org management.
Okay.
So within org management, you have something called as expert mode. And here we are going to do all the configurations like org unit, job, position, work center, and all this stuff. We are going to configure here. So majority of the configurations we will set up in the easy access only pertaining to organization management. Organization management.
Okay.
Okay. And the other sub-modules, like we have personal administration, time management, benefits, payroll,
Right.
all the other
Right.
submodules will be configured in the implementation guide. In the implementation guide. So if you want to go to implementation guide, which is also called as IMG, yeah, implementation guide or IMG, you have to give a transaction code called SPRO here. You have to give
SPR.
RO, yeah, SPRO. And then click on SAP reference IMG. There's a button called SAP reference IMG here. You have to click on this button. When you click on this button, the system will take you to display IMG screen. Display IMG screen.
Right.
So this is the place where we do configurations pertaining to personal administration, time management, benefits, and payroll. Yeah, and payroll. So apart from this, there are also other module specific configurations which can be done here, like FICO guys or MM guys, PP guys. They are also do the configurations here. Yeah, but with respect to HR, we can do all the configurations in the implementation guide. Okay, so if you navigate little down, if you scroll little down, you have a node called personal management.
Okay.
So here we do all the configurations pertaining to personal management. Then we have time management related node. Then we have payroll related node. Yeah. And within personal
Okay.
management, if you open it up, we have benefits related node. We have node pertaining to recruitments, right? So on and so forth. Yeah. So on and so forth.
Okay.
Compensation management, enterprise compensation management, so on and so forth. So we are going to do all the configurations pertaining to other submodules in the IMG. IMG also stands for implementation guide. implementation guide.
Right.
Right. So this is, a bit about, how we can log in and how we can start the configurations. How we can start the configuration.
Oh,
Now, let us first of all consider an example. Yeah. Let us first of all define an example, and based on the example what we defined right now, we will go ahead and do the configurations moving forward. Yeah, moving forward. Now the example that I
okay.
want to consider is, yeah, let's say VA, yeah, VAS, yeah, INC. Let us call it as VAS INC. Yeah, VAS INC.
Okay.
So this is an example that I'm going to consider moving forward, throughout the course. Yeah, throughout the course. This is the name of the, let us assume this is the name of the company. Yeah, name of the company.
Okay.
And this company
Okay.
has operations in Atlanta, yeah, Atlanta, and also let's say Dallas. Yeah, let's say Dallas.
Dala.
Yeah, Dallas. Let's say it has operations in two different locations, because if you want to learn how to do the configurations, yeah, we have to consider an example. Yeah, we have to consider an example. So in organization management, what we are going to do is we are going to set up the organizational structure that we are designing right now and here. Yeah, and moving forward in personal administration, we will hire an employee against into one of these departments or
Organization.
divisions in this organization, and we'll see how to hire an employee, how to maintain employee master data. So we are going to see all the stuff. Even in time management, we are going to do all the time management related configurations specific to this example, and we'll see how to do the time evaluation. Same is the case with the benefits. We are going to configure all the benefits pertaining to this organization, and then we will
Okay.
assign the benefit plans to the employees whom we have hired. Yeah, and then in payroll, we are going to configure all the info types pertaining to payroll, or we are going to do all the configurations pertaining to the payroll for this particular organization, and we are going to run the payroll at the towards the end of it. So we are going to do all the configurations specific to this particular company or this particular organization, and by which by the end of this course we actually end up doing a mini project. By way of learning the
Okay.
course, we actually end up doing a mini project. So
Many.
that's the that's the plan. That's the plan of action.
Okay.
So this is how I have
Okay.
been explaining. This is how I think SAP has to be learned. Yeah, SAP HR has to be learned.
Oh,
Okay, so
yes.
under Atlanta, let us say we have finance and production as two different divisions or departments. Yeah, and in Dallas, let us say we have HR and sales. Yeah, HR
Okay.
and sales. Let us consider this example. Let us consider this example. Right. So in org management, personal administration, time, benefits, and payroll, we are going to consider the same example, and we are going to do all the configurations. So we have to set up, this is, let us understand, let us assume that this is the organizational structure. This is the organizational structure. So let
Okay.
us go ahead and set up this organization, let us set up this structure in SAP. Let us set up this structure in SAP. Okay,
Separate.
so if we have to set up this structure in SAP, first of all, we have to define VASINC, then we have to define Atlanta, then Dallas, then finance, production, HR, and sales. We have to define all of these, departments or
Yeah.
divisions or locations. We have to define each and every one of these in SAP. In
Then
SAP.
separate.
Okay, so
Okay.
we define them as organizational units. Organizational units.
Units.
Organizational units. We are going to define each one of this as an organizational unit. So first of all, we have to define VASINC. Yeah,
Okay,
VASINC.
sir.
That is what we will define. First place. So that you can call that as a root organizational unit. Yeah, we are going to define VASINC. So in human resources, if you want to define the organizational units, there is a place where you have to define it. Yeah, there's a place.
Okay.
So in human resources, once you log into SAP, the easy access, you see human resources. In human resources, you have org management and then expert mode. Org management has expert mode.
Yeah.
Okay, so easy access, human resources, org management, expert mode,
Expert
and you
mode.
have to double click on organizational unit, what you're seeing here. Double click on organizational unit.
Organizational unit.
Double click on organizational unit.
Unit.
So when you double click on org unit, you see something called as maintain organizational unit. Yeah, maintain
Yes.
organizational unit. Okay, so here we are going to create an org unit. So here you see something called as an object. You click on object. There's a box towards the left side of the object. You click on it. Click on it. And the other thing what you need to make sure is here the date. Yeah, the period or the date that we are seeing here. You need to always give 01/01/1900. Yeah, and the end date will be the maximum date possible, that is 31/12/9999. Okay, so this is nothing but the validity of this organizational unit that we are going to create right now. Yeah, that is the lifespan or the validity that we are defining. So in SAP HR is a date-driven concept. SAP HR is date-driven. So whatever configurations we do in SAP HR, each and every configuration will have a validity start date and an end date. Okay, and the configurations, whatever we do, they exist, or the life of the configurations, whatever we do, they span over the start date and the end date. Before the start date, they will not exist, and after the end date, also they will not exist. So we are basically defining the lifespan of this particular configuration, whatever we are doing right now. That means
Okay.
the org unit, whatever we are creating right now, will exist from 11/1900 till 31/12/99.
Okay.
And then after clicking on object and giving the date, click on create info type. Create info type. When you click on create info type, the system will show a screen called as create object. And here we need to give name to whatever we are defining right now. We need to give a name to the organizational unit that we are defining right now. So it's like VASI is a short name or the abbreviation, yeah, and VASINC is the long text or the long name of this particular organization unit that we are creating right now. Yeah, that we are creating
Okay.
right now. Now save it. Save it. Okay, when you save it, the system is going to take us to the next screen. Yeah. Right now you can ignore it
Okay.
because this is the first organization unit that we are setting up. You can ignore it simply and say exit.
Okay.
Exit. So this is the simplest configurations that we can do in SAP actually. Setting up the organization structure is the simplest and easiest thing that we can do in SAP HR. All right.
Okay.
So
Okay.
when you go out of it, when you hit on exit, yeah, you get to see that the system has generated a code. Yeah, this
Right.
code is
Yeah.
called as the object ID or the object identification number. Object identification number. This is a unique number which the system generates, and this is the unique number the system assigns to this particular organizational unit called as VASINC. Yeah,
Okay.
VASINC. Right.
I
This is a unique identification number that the system has generated and it has assigned to VASINC. Right. This is the root argument. Now, in this structure, we are done with setting up of VASINC. Then let us say we will set up Atlanta the next thing. Okay, Atlanta is the next thing. So if you want to set up Atlanta, remove this object ID here. Yeah, remove it and hit on enter. Hit on enter and follow the same procedure. Choose object,
Okay.
click on create, click on create. Now it's going to be VASI Atlanta. Yeah, VAS
Okay.
INC
I Atlanta.
Atlanta. This is a second organizational unit that we are setting up. And save it. Save it. Now when you save, the system will take us to the next screen called as essential relationship or relationships.
Okay.
Essential relationship or relationships. That means we need to set up a relationship between this Atlanta org unit and VAS INC.
Okay.
Yeah, VAS INC. That is what the system is expecting us to set up right now. So now look here. VAS INC Atlanta reports to we need to give the object ID of the organizational unit to which it is going to report. That means we have to give the object ID of VAS INC. That is what we need to give here. Now, if you want to give it, what you can do is you can click on the drop down here. There's a drop down. You are seeing small box kind of thing. You can click on the drop down, or you can also hit on F4. So if you do this, we'll be able to search the object ID. So just give VASI, hit on enter. Yeah.
Yes.
Now
Okay.
you double click on it. The system will populate the object ID. Yeah, of VAS INC.
So
VAS
where we
INC.
have to click on?
Here you have to hit on F4 or the drop down. There's a drop down here, right? You have to click on the drop down, or you can also hit on
Before
F4.
before one. I mean it's ASI.
You mean to say, okay, that means
I mean
after
ID. I mean after
after the
creating
object ID
the
is after object ID is
got
populated, is it? Or before that?
right sir. Right sir. Right. We
After
have
the
to click
object ID is
on.
populated? Okay. See, if you want to see this object ID here, yeah, if you want to see this
Okay.
object ID, you have to click on the drop down. Yeah, click on the drop down,
Now.
and you get to see a dialog box in which we can search. We can
Okay.
search for the organizational units that are already created. So how do you search for something? If you want to search for something, you need to know the name of it, right? So you need to
Right.
give the name of it here. You can just say VA or VAS or VASI, whatever it is. You'll be able to, and hit on enter. You'll be able to see all the organizational units that are set up with this particular abbreviation. Okay.
Okay.
So there is only one org unit that has been set up till now. So you can simply double click on it. You can click on
Okay.
it and say continue, or you can double click on it simply. Okay. Double click on it and hit on enter. Right? Is it clear?
Okay, sir.
Now you see, now you try to understand it again. VAS INC Atlanta reports to VAS INC, right? So this is
Okay.
called as we have set up a relationship. We have set up a relationship between Atlanta as well as VAS INC.
Yes, I am
We have set up a relationship. We have created it, and we have also set up a relationship between both these organizational units. We have set up
Okay.
relationship. We are saying that VAS INC Atlanta reports to VAS INC. Yeah. So this is a hierarchy also
Okay.
that we are setting up at the same time. We are also setting up the hierarchy. Now let us create Dallas. Let us create Dallas. So how do we create Dallas? Same procedure. Remove the object ID from here, hit on enter, yeah, click on object and create. Same procedure. Yeah, same procedure.
Okay.
Now it's going to be VASI, yeah,
ID.
VASINC Dallas. Yeah, Dallas.
Dallas.
And save. Save. Again, the system is gonna show us, the same screen where we have to set up the relationship. Now you can place the cursor in ID of the related object and you can hit on the backspace. You can hit on the backspace. When you hit on the backspace, the system will show you all the object IDs that were used previously. So choose the first one. Choose the first one. That is the and if you choose the first one, that is the one that has been used the latest. That has been used the latest. So you can choose the first one and hit on enter, and then you'll be automatically able to see VASINC. Or alternatively, if you're not so sure, then you can hit on F4 also. Place the cursor F4 and then try to search for it. This is also valid. Now this time you see when you are searching it, it is showing both. Whatever we created, it is showing all of them. VASINC as well as VASINC Atlanta. So with whichever argument you want to set up a relationship, you can do so. Okay. Save. So now VASINC Dallas reports to VASINC. So now Dallas is also done. Yeah, Dallas is also set up. Now let us set up finance. As the argument. If you want to set up finance, remove the object ID from this box, from the field, and choose object and click on create. Now it's going to be VASINC, finance. VASINC, finance. Save it. Save it. Now VASINC finance reports to, it should report to Atlanta. It should report to Atlanta. Right? So click on this field object ID and hit on F4. F4 and search by giving VAS. Okay, now you will see VASINC Atlanta as well as VASINC Dallas. So choose Atlanta. Choose Atlanta and double click on it and hit on enter. Now you see the relationship VASINC finance reports to VASINC Atlanta. Save it. Save it. So finance is done. Now let us define production argument. So click on object, click on create. Now it's gonna be VASINC, is going to be production. Production. Save it. Now one important thing here is that whenever you are giving any names to the configurations, whatever you are doing, you have to give some meaningful names. Always remember, you have to give some meaningful names. By looking at the name, you should be able to identify what exactly that is. Because we have just started with the configurations. We are just setting up the arguments. But moving forward, we are going to set up the jobs, positions, work center, tasks, etc. And then also in the personal administration, time management, benefits, and payroll, we are going to do many configurations. So whenever we are doing a configuration, make sure you give a meaningful name. Make sure you give a meaningful name. Now you can hit on the backspace here and then choose it. Now VASINC production reports to VASINC Atlanta. Save it. Now we are done with both finance and production. Now let us set up HR and sales. HR and sales. So if you want to set up HR, remove the object ID, click on object and create. Now give the object abbreviation VASINC HR. You can click on the save button, or you can also say Control S. Say Control S to get saved. Now click on the drop down, say VAS, choose Dallas, because we have HR and sales under Dallas. Dallas. Then enter, save. Remove object ID, click on object, create. Now BAS INC, we have S sales. Control S.
Okay.
Now object ID of the repeated object, hit on backspace and you get to see the latest one that has been used, which is Dallas. Click on enter
That's
and Control S. Control S. That's all. We are done. We are done with setting
okay.
up of this particular organizational structure, whatever we have defined right now on this spreadsheet. Yeah, this is the simplest organizational structure that we can set up. Yeah, to understand, the configurations in SAP HR. So the setting up of this org structure is done. Now let us go ahead and see how it looks like, isn't it? We are done with the creation. We want to see it how it looks like. Now there's an option called create new session here. Yeah, there's an option called create new session. Yeah, if you click on create,
Okay.
the system will open another screen of SAP, which is called as another session. You see, there's another session.
Okay.
So like this, you can open 6 sessions, new sessions. You see, maximum number of sessions is reached. Now, when you place the cursor here, you'll be able to see that there are 6 sessions that are already created. Okay.
Right.
So like this, you can do different configurations. You can navigate between these screens. Yeah, and then you can see the different configurations that you have set up. Yeah, configurations that you have set up. I'm just closing them. Now, if you want to see, you can get on to human resources, organization management, expert mode, simple maintenance. Simple maintenance. Now double click on display. Double click on display. Yeah. When you double click on display,
Okay.
you'll be able to see organizational plan or display. This is the screen. So here you are seeing a field called org unit or organizational unit. You can hit on F4, and search for VASI. Yeah. Choose the root organizational unit or the first organizational unit that we have set up. That is VASI.
Okay.
Double click on it and hit on enter. Hit on enter. When you hit on enter, we'll be able to see the structure display. Yeah, organizational structure display. So whatever we have set up the last half an hour, whatever we have set up in the last half an hour, we'll be able to see here. So VAS INC is a root org unit under which we have Atlanta and Dallas. If you open up Atlanta, we get to see finance and production. If you open up Dallas, we'll be able to see HR and sales. Yeah, HR and sales. So this is exactly what we have, thought of in the spreadsheet. So in order to get this particular structure, what we have done is we have actually created the organizational units, number one. Number two, we have set up the relationships between the required organizational units. These are the two things that we have done. We have created the org units and we have set up the relationships. Okay, so we have set up the relationship saying that finance reports to Atlanta. We have set up a relationship saying that production reports to Atlanta. Then we said HR reports to Dallas, sales reports to Dallas. Then we also said Atlanta reports to VAS INC, Dallas reports to VAS INC. So by setting up the relationship called reports to, reports to this particular link or this particular hierarchy, came into existence. So this is how you can understand this particular org structure. And this is the simplest configuration that we can do in SAP. Yeah, SAP.
Yes.
Now let me walk you through a particular PPT. Yeah, a particular PPT in
Okay.
which we will look into certain concepts. Okay, so organizational management. Organizational management. Org
Management.
management or OM is a component within the SAP HR module that is used as a tool to maintain
The module of the
organizational structure,
organization. Okay.
maintain a model of the organizational structure. So using this organizational management component, we are actually going to maintain a model or create a model of the org structure. Yeah, that is what we have done just now. An
Right.
organizational structure comprises of organizational unit, job, position, task, task catalog, and work center. So these are the components of an organizational structure. So right now we have created the organizational units. Now moving forward, we'll also create jobs, positions, tasks, and then work centers as well. OM module, provides a clear picture of the organization at any point of time, past, present, or future. So we can actually set up the organizational structure, at different points of time. That means, let us say we have a plan of, extending it or expanding it, 2 years down the line. So you can set up a structure and
Okay.
see how exactly it looks like and what you can do some planning for it. And you can also create a structure that you are using presently, in your organization.
Okay.
And also you can have a structure that used to exist earlier, let's say 5 years previously or 5 years in the past, how exactly it was. We can also set up a structure, and for historical, purposes, you can also maintain the past organizational structures. So this is how the structure looks like, once we set up, and we have already seen this. Yeah. And
Right. Yes.
once you create positions, you will see like this. The positions also you'll be able to see. And under the positions, who are the exactly the employees who got hired. Even you'll be able to see
Okay.
the names of them. You'll be able to see
Names of them.
even the names of the employee who were hired against those positions. Against those positions. And then org unit. An organizational unit represents a division, a department, a section, a
Okay.
bureau, a country office,
Okay.
or any other unit within an enterprise's organizational chart. So you can define any one of these as an organizational unit. Yeah, you can represent any one of these as an organizational unit. It can be anything. Now, for example, say under the finance, department, you might have some divisions like corporate finance, yeah, corporate finance,
Sure.
or let's say you have audit, yeah, you have audit division,
Okay.
or you have the bookkeeping
Okay.
division. So each of this has to be defined as an organizational unit in SAP. Yeah, each of this has to be represented or defined as an organizational unit in SAP. Now let us say in HR, you have the personal administration department. Yeah, you have the benefits management department. Then you have the time management department or the time office. Yeah, and then you have the payroll department. Yeah, so each one of these
Yeah.
department or each one of these divisions, you can say, yeah, has to be defined as a separate organizational unit in SAP. Yeah, separate organizational unit. Now sales, you might have some domestic sales, yeah, or you might have some corporate sales division, yeah, and then you have international sales, yeah, international sales division, so on and so forth. So each one of these division has to be defined as a separate organizational unit in SAP. Yeah, in SAP.
Sure.
So moving forward, what happens? We can create positions under this organizational unit, saying that, okay, in the domestic sales division, there are 10 positions existing. Yeah, 10 executive domestic sales who are positions that are existing. And against these 10 executive positions, we are going to actually hire the employees moving forward. Yeah, we are going to hire the employees. Now, under corporate sales, let us say there are 5 positions. One is manager corporate sales, 4 are executive corporate sales. Then international sales. We have one manager international sales, and let us say 4 executive international sales. So like this, we are going to create 5 positions under this and 5 positions under this, under domestic corporate sales, and let us say 10
Corporate.
positions under the domestic sales. Okay, so totally there are 20 positions under the sales department. Similarly, we have, personal administration department. We might have 2 executives under personal administration, 1 for the benefits management, 3 for time management, and 4 for payroll. So we are going to totally create 4 plus 3, 7, 8, 9, 10 positions under HR. Yeah. So same is the case with finance. Same is will be the case with the production. So so by the end of doing all this, we actually end up creating the entire organizational structure of this company. Entire organizational structure of this particular company. Right. So this is a big picture that you can see right now. This is a big picture. Okay. So that is what we are saying here. An organizational unit represents a division, department, section, bureau, country office, or any other unit within an enterprise's organizational chart. Then, example for org unit can be a corporate office, a head office, a branch office, a regional office, etc. Any one of them can be represented as an org unit, as a separate org unit. So once we set up the org structure, this is how it is going to look like. We have the executive board in the top, yeah. Then we have the human resources department and the financial accounting department. And under human resources, we have the payroll and benefits divisions, then vendor, customer and audit divisions, yeah. So each one of this has to be created or has to be set up as an org unit, as an org unit. And that is what we have done just now, right? That is what we have done just now. Then there are a couple of other things that I want to discuss. Okay. Creation of org structure. Okay, the first one is object. Org management is based on object-oriented design. Yeah, org management is based on object-oriented design. Each element in an organization represents a standalone object with individual characteristics. These objects are created and maintained individually. They are created and maintained individually. So this is what we have done actually. If you look at the SAP screens, once again, if you look at the SAP screens, okay, now get on to human resources. You have org management, you have expert mode, double click on org unit. Yeah. Now, when we wanted to create the BSINC, org unit, what we have done, we have clicked on object and we said create. Yeah, we said create. Similarly, when you wanted to create the Atlanta location, we have clicked on object and we said create. Similarly for Dallas, similarly for HR, finance, sales, and production. So what's happening here is that we are creating, individual objects for each of this organizational unit or for each of this component. So org management is based on object-oriented design. Each element in an organization represents a standalone object with individual characteristics, and these objects are created and maintained individually. So that is what we have done just now. Yeah, we have created these objects individually. And then relationship. Objects are then linked together using relationships. They are linked using relationships. So that is what we have done just now. We have set up relationship between Atlanta and BSIMC. We said that Atlanta reports to BSIMC. Then we said finance reports to Atlanta. Production reports to Atlanta. HR reports to Dallas, and sales reports to Dallas. So that is what we have set up. That is what we have setup, and we have set up the relationships. By way of setting up the relationships, we have actually created the hierarchy. We have just created the hierarchy and we have set up the entire organization structure by setting up relationships. Setting up relationships. Right, Abhi? So now let us see a few more things with respect to org structure. Now you can say F4 here also. You can say F4. You can say VAS. You can choose VAS INC. Hit on enter. Now this is one thing. The second thing is there's an option called structure search. Yeah, structure search. If you click on this structure search, yeah, you'll be able to see all the org structures that were set up here. So if you navigate down, you'll be able to see the structure that we have created. You can double click on this, yeah, or you can open it up. Yeah, you can open it up and you'll be able to see the structure that we have created. You'll be able to see this in the left side panel, right? You'll be able to see it in the left side panel. This is also this is how you can also view. And when you double click on finance here, you'll be able to see the finance org unit here. If you double click on production, you'll be able to see the production org unit or HR or sales. Yeah, this is structure search. This is structure search.
Okay.
So once you have set up the org structure, if you want to search for it, if you want to maintain it, this is how you can do it. And then there's an option called search term. When you click on search term, you can do a search based on the text that we have given or based on the name that we have given. So we can say VAS and you'll be able to exclusively see the org structure that we have created just now. And you double click on any one of this and you'll be able to maintain. So this is another way of searching the structure that we have set up.
Okay.
Now let us go to structure search. Now VAS INC. Now let us say for example, finance should have been under Dallas. Okay, let us say finance should have been under Dallas, and by mistake we have put it under Atlanta.
Okay.
While doing the configuration, while setting up the org structure, let us assume that we have by mistake we have put under finance. It should have been actually under Dallas. How do you rectify it? Yeah,
Okay.
you have done a mistake. We have to rectify it. How do we rectify it?
Yeah.
If you want to rectify it, simply click on relationship, hit on enter. Yeah, hit on enter. And click on overview. There's an option called overview here. You can click on overview.
Okay.
When you click on overview, you will be able to see the relationships that were set up. All the relationships that were set up. I think we are seeing VAS INC. Let's say finance. Yeah. Now click on overview. Okay. Now when you click on overview, you'll be able to see all the relationships that were set up, yeah, with finance and other org units. Now all we need to do is we have to change this reports to. That's all. If we change reports to Atlanta, if we change it to reports to Dallas, our job is done, right? We have to just change the relationship. So if you want to just change the relationship, click on this relationship, click on change, click on change. And here, in place of this object ID, give 3. that is for Dallas. Or you can also choose from the drop down. You can say F4. Yeah, you can say F4 and say VAS, and you can also choose Dallas from this. This is also another way of doing it.
Okay.
Hit on enter and save. That's all. We are done. So what we are saying right now is we are saying that VAS INC Finance reports to VAS INC
Dallas.
Dallas. That's all. Yeah, that's all. Now you can simply say structure search and you can open up VAS. I think we need to refresh this. Now we just step back. Or you can say exit. Double click on argument. Double click on argument. Now you see under Atlanta we only have production, whereas under Dallas we have
We
finance
have
HR.
finance information.
So if you want to modify the org structure that you have created, if you want to
Okay.
modify, then you have to modify the relationship. That's all. You have to change the relationship and the structure will be changed. Simple. Yeah. If you change the relationship, org structure will be changed. So let me restore. Yeah. Let me restore it back.
Relationship. Yeah.
So click on relationship and click on the overview.
Overview.
Click on overview. Then choose Dallas. That is the relationship. Click on change. And here give to hit on enter. And you will see Atlanta. So I'm just restoring original structure. Original structure. Yeah.
Okay.
So this is how you
Yeah.
can create org units or you can create org structure and you can also modify the organizational structure. You can also modify.
Okay.
Now let us create a dummy org unit. Yeah, let us create a dummy org unit and we'll also see how to delete it. Yeah, how to delete it. Now remove the object ID. Remove the object ID. Click on object. Yeah. Create. Create. Let's say dummy. Save it. Save it. And then we have to set up the relationship. So click on the drop down here or click on F4. Say VAS. Yeah. Let's say I'm putting the dummy under Atlanta. Save it. Yeah. Save it. Now navigate back. Double click on org once again. And you'll be able to see the dummy org that we have set up. Yeah, this is a dummy org. Now we want to delete it. Yeah, let us say I have created this org by mistake. Yeah, and I want to delete it. How can we delete it? Okay, how can we delete it? So there are many methods of doing it. Open a new session. Open a new session. Go to human resources, org management, then expert mode, simple maintenance. Double click on display. Double click on display. Now here, let us see the org structure. If you look here, even here you'll be able to see dummy. Yeah,
Yes, sir.
you'll be able to see dummy. So click on dummy, and then you can say you can click on display change first of all. Yeah, then click on dummy and click on organizational plan, or you can click on edit. Click on edit.
Okay.
So here you see an option called delete.
Okay.
You can see an option called delete and say object. So the system will ask us to confirm it. So delete. So this is how you can simply play around, the system. You just try, because you have to practice a lot. Yeah. SAP HR,
Yeah.
or SAP is one technology where you have to do a lot of practice. If you don't practice, it's like it's gone. It will be in
Okay.
the air, and whatever is there in the air is gone. Okay, so even the functional consultants, even the working consultants, if they don't look into the SAP screens, for good 1 month, they are gone. They're gone.
Okay.
Everything will be like new thing for them. Even for people like who are hands-on for 10 years or 12 years, even they have the danger of forgetting the stuff if they don't work on it. If they don't work on it.
Okay.
So it's like, so we get addicted to it in a kind, we get addicted. So every day I'll have to look into SAP screens. Only then I feel that okay, my day is good today. That's a level of addiction we get into actually.
Okay.
So that's how you should look at it. It should be like a passion, or it should be that's how it should be. Only then you'll be able to learn it and work on it actually. And
Okay.
and it's like maybe you have seen that Three Idiots movie, right? Yeah, in which
Yeah.
when the guy says, "पहले काबिल बनो, then कामयाबी आएगी," right? So काबिल बनने के लिए you have to practice. I
Practice
hope you
more.
understand Hindi, right? You understand Hindi?
Uh,
A bit of.
I can understand, but I can't. I mean, express. I can understand, sir.
Okay,
Little bit.
but I hope whatever I said just now, I hope you would have
Uh,
understood that.
I have that. Yeah, the dialogue that have.
Hmm. So that's a famous dialogue, so which
Right.
applies to the real time,
Maybe.
each and every one of us, each and every one of us. So this is how you can create a simple organizational structures. You can modify it, you can delete the already created org structures and all this stuff. Yeah. So we'll just take a
Okay,
break,
sir.
short break for about 5 minutes, quick 5 minutes,
Okay.
5 10 minutes.
Okay, sir.
We'll come back and we'll take it
Okay, sir.
forward. Yeah.
Sure. Sure. Okay, sir.
You can just mute yourself. Yeah. You have to be in the meeting.
Okay.
You can mute yourself.
Okay, sir.
Abhi, you there?
Yes, sir. Hi.
Okay. So let's continue from where we have stopped. Yeah.
Sure.
So we are done with the configurations of the organizational units. Yeah. Organizational units. These are the components within the organizational structure. Now let us move forward and configure the other components. Okay. Are you able to see my screens?
Yes, sir.
Now let us set up the other components within the organizational structure. Yeah. They are jobs and positions. Yeah. Jobs and positions.
Good.
So before setting up the jobs and positions, let us understand what they are actually. So jobs are general classifications for sets of functions. The general classifications for sets of functions. For example, vice president, assistant vice president, general manager, executive, etc. Yeah, etc. These are all jobs. These are all jobs. And then
Yeah.
positions. Positions are concrete and are occupied by employees of the company. Yeah, even as a recruiter, when you are giving the pitch about a position, you say that there is a position that is available at Atlanta, Georgia. Yeah, there is a position
Right.
of you call it a position. You don't call it as job. Yeah.
That's
Now
right.
normally what happens is in India, in India, we normally say that, hey, what's your job? Then my
Right.
job is so and so. That is what they are going to tell. But then in
Right.
actually, if you are looking at the HR terms, if you have to use the proper HR terminology, we should actually call it as a position, right? We say that, okay, what is your position? That is how you need to call. That is how even you
Right.
sell a position, right? As a recruiter, that is how
Right. Right.
you sell a position. So,
Right.
so positions are concrete and are occupied by the employees of the company, and then each position is typically occupied by one employee. However, multiple assignments are also possible. Multiple assignments are also possible.
Possible.
So we can hire multiple employees against the same position. Even that is also possible. So for the examples for the positions can be VP Sales, VP HR, VP Finance, AVP Sales, AVP HR, or AVP Finance. So with respect to job, we call it as Vice President or Assistant Vice President. But when we call position, we say that, okay, VP Sales, VP HR, VP Finance, AVP Sales, AVP HR, AVP Finance. Specifically, we call it, based on the department or division. Department or division. So a job, a secretary can be a job. Okay. And the positions can be secretary sales, secretary production, secretary marketing, right? Secretary marketing. Now, let's go ahead and create jobs and positions. So log into SAP, log into SAP. Now, in human resources, we have org management, export. Double click on job.
Okay.
Now, there is, something called as a transaction code, yeah, using which you can enter into this screen directly. Now, where do we find the transaction code? So here, there's a triangle next to 800. There is a triangle. If you click on the triangle, you will see a transaction code. Okay, what is a transaction code? That is PO03. Yeah, PO03. That means from this easy access, if you do the transaction code PO03, you will be able to enter into this screen directly. Maintain job. Okay, so this is called transaction code, and there are two things. One is you can remember the navigation path, or other thing is you can remember the transaction code. So how you want to remember is your choice purely. Yeah. So
Okay.
there are both ways of doing it. Similarly, if you want to get into Org-Unit directly, there's a transaction code to get into Org-Unit also. You click on the triangle, you see PO10. Yeah, PO10. So this is how you can enter into this organizational unit screen directly. Now you give the transaction code here, PO10. You enter into the screen directly. Yeah, you enter into the screen directly. So there's a navigation path and there's also a transaction code. So you can remember navigation path or transaction code as per your choice. So similarly for position also, if you want to create position, double click on position. Yeah, you will see the transaction code here, PO13. Yeah, PO13. So you can enter into this screen directly by giving a transaction code called PO13. For each and every screen, there will be a transaction code. You can enter into the screen through by giving the transaction code or by navigation path. So double click on job, create object, set up the validity interval. Yeah, always give the possible, 11 1900 and the end date will be 31/12/999. This is the combination of the start date and end date that we are going to give always concrete. Now it's going to be like,
Sir, in real-time experiences, we need to give the same, date
yeah, almost. And in the
almost.
real time, what happens is, the setting up of organizational units, jobs, and positions, that is actually the job of the end users. They are going to do
And
it.
you.
Yeah.
Okay.
As a functional consultants, what we do is we do the configurations. That means we do the config changes in the IMG, actually, IMG. And all this
I am.
stuff, whatever we are saying today, uh, we don't do this actually. The end users has to
Okay.
do this. Maybe for initially when we are doing the implementation, initially we'll set up the org structure, but then day to day,
Okay.
when you're working on a support project,
Okay.
we don't create this.
Okay.
We tell we give training to the end users, and the users
Okay.
will create these positions and all this stuff.
Develop.
Yeah. So VASINC manager. Yeah. VASINC manager.
Manage.
This is a job that I'm creating right now. Save it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now remove this object ID. Click on object. Say create VASI executive. VASINC executive. Control S. Jobs are done. Creation of jobs is done. Double click on position.
Solutions.
Double click on position. Whatever object ID is here, you simply remove it always. Make sure you remove it. Without removing it, if you click on object and say create, you will get some error messages. It says the number
Alright.
indicated is not, and all this stuff. So you have to
Yeah.
just remove this. Make sure you remove it. Click on create. Now, this is a position that I want to create. So this is going to be VASINC manager production. Yeah, it's going to be manager production. So VASINC manager, yeah, production. Save it. Now the system is asking us to set up a relationship. So VASINC manager production belongs to which organizational unit? You can click on F4 or you can click on the drop down, say search. Yeah. So this
Yes.
position, manager production position, belongs to production argument. So choose production argument. You run enter, control this. So once you get used to it, once you have practiced a couple of times, you will simply play around with this. You will simply play around with creation of the org structures. It's so simple. Now click on object, click on create. You have object observation as VASINC executive production. VASINC, yeah, production. Save it, Control S. Now navigate a step, now hit on backspace, choose the latest object ID. So now understand this. VASINC executive production belongs to, yeah, VASINC production argument. Yeah, save it.
Okay.
So this is how we have set up the jobs and positions. Now if you want to see it, you can open a new session, or what you can also do is you can also search here. Org management, expert mode, simple maintenance, display,
Display.
hit on backspace. Now VASINC Atlanta, Dallas.
Done.
Now click on staff assignments. If you want to see the positions that you have set up, click on staff
Right.
assignments. When you click on staff assignments, you are seeing a plus symbol here. Okay, click on the plus
Right. Sir.
symbol. You'll be able to see the positions that we have set up. VASINC manager production, VASINC executive production, and once we hire employees against these positions, then you'll be able to see another, you know, what
Star
we
member.
call hierarchy, and in the you'll be able to see the names of the employees also under this. Yeah, you'll be able to see the
Okay.
names of the employees. So this is what is the org structure basically. This is what is the org structure. Right. Navigate back. So these are jobs and positions. These are jobs and positions. Now, the next thing is work centers. Yeah, work centers.
Okay.
So the work
So
centers are
small.
nothing. Yeah,
I mean, under one position or something on job, something. How many number of positions we can, adjust the, or there is any n number of positions we can.
there's no limit.
There is no limit, right?
No limit.
Okay.
Because let's say there's a huge company like IOC, Indian Oil Corporation, or BHEL. So under the
Yes,
production
yes.
division, under the production department, there will be multiple, divisions. Under each division, there might be so many employees who are working. So for each
Yeah,
employee,
okay.
we have to create a position, first of all, and we have to hire employees
Okay.
against that position. So there's no limit. You
Okay.
can create a number of
Okay.
positions. So the company like BHEL, which have implemented SAP, BHEL is using SAP HR, SAP only. They have implemented
Okay.
SAP. Indian Oil Corporation, they have implemented SAP. They are using SAP, and SBI is using SAP. So these are only few examples that I'm giving. Apart from this, there
Okay.
are many pharma companies, many
Right.
companies in the manufacturing industry that are using SAP, and they are using SAP time management perfectly, no issues. Payroll, no issues. Nothing. It's an ERP,
Yeah.
globally recognized and valid and globally accepted ERP, which handles all the statutory compliances, properly.
Okay.
You can create any number of positions under each
Okay.
under each one unit. Now, work center. Work center. So work center is nothing but the exact location or place, where the position executes the task. Work center in the sense, let us say you are working for a recruitment firm, recruitment agency. Yeah. In
Okay.
your recruitment, you're in your company, let us say there are about 15 workstations. 15
Okay.
workstations. Yeah. Because you have to sit, you have to sit and work, right? There should be a workstation
Right.
that should be assigned to you. So there are 15 workstations. So each workstation has to be defined as a work center.
Okay.
Each workstation has to be defined as a work center. Similarly, if you are talking about a production unit, in the production unit there will be different machineries, So the employees working in the production unit, where will they work? They have to work near the machinery only, right? They have to stand
Right.
or sit or operate some machine, right? So each machine has to be defined as a work center in production division. Yeah. Whereas in finance division, what happens is, previously in the olden days, there used to be a chair and a table. Yeah. But now there is no
Right.
chair table concept. Now we have all workstations only. We all work, they
Okay.
all have to do the transactions using the systems, software systems, be it SAP or
Okay.
non-SAP. That's a different story. So we all have workstations only these days. Yeah, workstations.
Right.
Similarly, HR, similarly sales. Even the sales guys, what they do, they need to be given a system and a phone, right? Then their job is done. They have
Right.
to they pitch in, they say, they contact different people. So each workstation has to be defined as a work center, or each machinery has to be defined as a work center. Yeah, has to be defined as a work center.
Okay.
Now, how do we define these work centers? Same method. Double click on work center, and this work center also has a transaction code. PO01 is a transaction code.
Yeah.
PO01. Now remove the existing object ID here. Make sure the start date and end date is as per what we have discussed. Click on object, create. Yeah. Now we say VSINC. Yeah. VSINC. Let's say production work center, for instance. Yeah. VSINC production work center. Save it. Save it. Now, after creating it, what we can do is we can set up a relationship also. So, how do we set up a relationship? Click on relationship, click on create, click on create. Now, production work center. Now, I want to set up a relationship between the position and the work center. So, from this drop down, you have to choose position. Yeah, in the drop down, choose position. Hit on F4, say VAS. I'm searching the positions. Okay. Uh, okay. Now you'll be able to see the positions that we have created. So executive production, that's it. Choose a position called executive production and then hit on enter. Now click on the drop down here, say belongs to. Hit on enter. Okay. So this work center called as VASINC production work center belongs to this position. Yeah, belongs to this position. So this is how we can set up the relationships explicitly. Sometimes when we create certain objects or when we create org units, for instance, the system will prompt us to create a relationship. We have seen that. When we have created the position, the system has prompted us to set up a relationship implicitly. But there are certain objects, for instance, we have this work center. The system did not prompt us to set up a relationship, but we have set up the relationship explicitly. Yeah, explicitly. So navigate back. So this is how we create the work centers. Work centers are nothing but the place where the positions execute their tasks. Where the positions execute their tasks. And the best way to understand this is your own, company. In your own company, you have different, work centers or the terminals or the, we have workstations. So let us say one workstation here is for the owner of the company, the finance guy, the financer who has put the money in it. Yeah, he has a
Okay.
cabin and all the stuff. That guy sits there. Yeah, he has a cabin.
Right.
Then we have, let us say 3 resource managers, for instance. Yeah, 3 resource managers, team leads or team leads. Okay, this guy is the owner of the company. Yeah, and these guys are 3 team leads. Yeah,
Yeah.
team leads. So for each team lead, let us say we have 3 executives who are assigned to them. Yeah, 3 executives.
Right.
So for these 9 executives, we have 9 work centers. Yeah, 9 recruiters. Yeah, 9 recruiters. So how many are over? 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, 13.
Okay.
Then we have one finance executive, finance guy. Yeah, who takes care of bookkeeping and all the audits and all the stuff. And then we have one admin guy, let us say.
Okay.
Finish. The recruitment company is ready here. Okay. So we have totally created 15 work centers. Yeah, 15 work centers we have to create. We have to create 50. We have to create 15 positions. Yeah, we have to create
Okay.
15 positions. And how many org units we have? One we can define it as
One.
the root org unit or the executive board. Executive board. Yeah, this is called executive board. Executive board. This is one org unit. And under this org unit, we have recruitment division. Recruitment division is one division or one department. Then you have the finance department, and then you have the admin department.
Okay.
So these are the 3 organizational units that you can set up. There are 4 organizational units: executive board, recruitment department, finance, and admin. So under the
Admin
executive board,
department.
under the executive board, you can create recruitment, finance, and admin.
Side.
You can set up the org structure for the company where you are working right now. Simple. And you have to set up the relationships, and you can create the work centers, you can create the positions, you can create jobs, you can hire employees, you can run payroll, you can do time evaluation, you can assign benefits, everything. So within this 15 employee organization also, you can, considering this example, you can learn SAP. You can learn SAP by considering this example also. Now, task catalog. Task catalog. Now, task catalog is nothing but the list of tasks that are to be performed by an employee, or the list of tasks that are to be performed by a position. Performed by a position.
Right.
So, click on all and execute. You'll be able to see all the tasks or the task catalogs that have been set up in the system already. Right. Now, for example, welding is one task catalog. Open it up. Yeah. These are the tasks under the task catalog called welding. So, arc welding, shielded welding,
Shield.
soldering or welding, and then TAG welding. Yeah. Then transport. Car, drive crane, all this stuff. These are different tasks
Yeah.
under the task catalog called as transport. And management tasks. Presentation, PR, representative, whatever it is. So they have created different tasks under this catalog. Okay, and we will assign this catalog to a particular position so that the position is expected to perform those tasks. Position is
Okay.
expected to perform those tasks. So if you want to create task catalog or task, click on task and click on create. Now there will be individual tasks also here. If you scroll down, you are seeing all these individual tasks. Individual tasks. Now if you want to create a task, click on task and click on create. Yeah. Now task is, let us say, you know, PC, let us say production executive related tasks. Production executive tasks. Production executive tasks. This is the catalog that I'm going to set up. So save it. Just refresh it. Now choose production executive tasks. Where is that? PET.
Don't we have option for search here?
There should be actually. So here we are. Okay, so click on PET and say change. Or you say just say create. Okay. Now when you click on create, what happens is, okay, you can assign the tasks.
Okay.
Task 1, or let's say PET T1, PET T2, PET T3, so on and so forth. Yeah. Production executive tasks. No. Task 1, P2. Now it has become a catalog. It has become a catalog. You open it up and you will see individual tasks. Individual tasks.
Right.
So as a recruiter, what will be your tasks? You know, it will be like, you know, talking to the manager, or you know, what do you call, when you receive a requirement. Yeah, when you receive a requirement, what will be your tasks? First of all, publish the requirement. Post the
Need to
requirement
post the
on the
task.
job board.
Right.
Then contact the vendors. Flash
Right.
the requirement to your vendors. After you flash the
Right.
requirement, you have to talk to the candidates. You receive profiles, you talk to the candidates. Once you talk to the candidates, you negotiate with them, then submit the profile, submitting the profile to your manager. Right.
Right.
And
Yes, sir.
that's all. That's all. These are 4 or 5 tasks that you have to do in a day. Right. So you can broadly classify them and you can create the, you know, tasks here under the task catalog. Okay. Now, once you have created it, once you have created the tasks, click on it and say change. When you say change, you will be able to see, you know, uh, the screen that we have been always seeing here today. So click on relationship, click on create. So we will assign this task to a position. Okay. We will assign this task to a position, task catalog in fact. We'll assign the task catalog to a position. So click on the drop down, choose position, click on the drop down here as well. Yeah, click on the drop down here as well, say VAS. Object. Now choose executive production. Click on the drop down, choose the relationship. Now say possible roles. Click on enter. Save. So what we have done just now is we have created the task, we created the task catalog, and then we have assigned it to a position as well. Yeah, position as well.
Yeah.
All right, Abhi. So these are the different components within an organizational structure. There are the different possible combinations. So task catalog has been changed. Do you want to generate the index? Just say yes.
Yeah.
So this task catalog is saved. So this is how you can create the different components within an organizational structure. Yeah, organates, jobs, positions, work centers, and tasks. So in tomorrow's session, we will see how to, you know, create org structure using one another method also. This other method called as
Okay.
simple maintenance. So we'll also see how to create, org structure using simple maintenance. There are simple methods of creating org structures also. We'll see those methods as well. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll stop here for now. Yeah. So
Okay.
normal. Let me stop recording. 1 second.